Hey everyone, this is Emily at McGee. Today's video is a chair yoga. You don't have to have done yoga before. This is really just a chair stretching kind of program that someone who's in a wheelchair can do with the assistance of a caregiver. So I'm going to show you all the basic moves. All right, you guys ready? You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is set up the chair. You want to make sure that if someone's in a tilt, they have a tilted space chair, that they're upright, that they're not reclined back in a tilt. If they're able, put their feet on the floor. If the chair's too high, you can keep them up on the footrest. But the reason we want to do that is because I really want Wayne here to be able to come forward away from the chair. Okay? So Wayne, go ahead and sit up for me. Good. Once you're away from the chair, I want you to sit nice and tall. And throughout this whole thing, I want you to remember to breathe. Take some deep breaths as you do these moves. Okay? So the first one we're going to do is flexing the neck and extending the neck. So you're going to chin to your chest and then eyes to the ceiling. And you're going to do this 10 times. Chin to your chest and eyes to the ceiling. Keep going. So the role of the caregiver is to make sure that Wayne doesn't fall out of his chair, that he's sitting nice and tall. We removed his armrest just to give him more room to move, but you can also leave them on. And we do have his seat belt still on. We just loosened it so that he could come forward in the chair a little bit. After you get to 10, let me know.
Last time.
Okay, now we're going to do rotation. Look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder. You want to stay within pain-free range of motion. So you're trying to move as far as you can each direction, but keep pain-free. A lot of you watching this video will have had surgery. You might have hardware in your neck. You might have things that limit your range, and that's okay. You just go through your available range of motion and make sure that it's not painful. After 10, good job. All right, now we're going to do ear to shoulder. So bringing the ear straight down to the shoulder. Hold for a few seconds and then come up the other way. If you're someone that tends to get dizzy, just remember to go slowly. Don't do these movements quickly. You don't want to rotate when you're going to the side. You really want to keep straight to the side like this, ear to shoulders. Don't look up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. In between, if they need to take a break against their backrest, it's totally fine. You can take a brief break. When they're ready, you can sit back up again. Okay. Now we're going to work on the shoulders, okay? So I want you to start with the shoulder shrug. Both shoulders are going to go up and down. So ears towards your shoulders towards your ears, and then relax. Up and down. Good. Keep going up. Do this one 10 times as well. Good. Okay, come on forward again. All right. Now I'm going to show you from the side while Wayne does it, so you can see him from the front. You're going to do what we call scapular retractions or squeezes, shoulder blade squeezes. Your imagining a pencil right in the middle of the back between your shoulder blades, and you're trying to squeeze together. You don't want your ears up in your shoulders up in your ears with this. You want them down and then pull straight back. Keep going. Straight back. Good. And again, this is one, if you still had your armrests on, you could support your arm on your armrest because the movement's really coming from the shoulder blades, okay? Good. All right, and then after you do those two, then you're going to do a shoulder roll. So you're going to come up and back and down, and again, up and back and down. Up like your shrug, back and then down. Good. Keep going. Okay, our next one is shoulder external and internal rotation. So essentially, I'm going to help Wayne to do palms up and palms down. Now we're going to do one arm at a time because Wayne needs assistance with this. So as the caregiver, you're going to hold the wrist and you're going to hold the elbow. And then Wayne's going to try to help, but we're going to basically going to turn the palm up and then palm down like this. The arm is just a little bit away from the body and then down. Again, you're going pain-free range of motion, but trying to get the full range. So internally rotating the arm, externally rotating. And just like the other ones we've already done, we're going to do 10 repetitions. I've already lost track. What are we on? 7? Something like that? Oh, see, never ask a therapist. We'll always guess lower than the actual number. And then one more. Now I'm going to show you just a slight variation on the other arm. You can either repeat and do the exact same thing. The other option is to keep the elbow bent and bring the arm out to the side like this for external rotation and internal rotation. Now the thing that you're not getting with this that you're getting with the other one is the supination and pronation of the forearm. But again, both are good. I'm going just to the point of resistance and helping Wayne. He's really pulling it towards his chest. He has that movement there. Pull in, good. So we're going out and going in. So both options are great. Just pick the one that feels best to you. Okay? External and internal. All right. Now the next one, and Wayne needs help on this, so it just depends, but we're gonna do what we call horizontal adduction. So you're bringing the arm up a little bit. See how I'm supporting under his forearm and his elbow? And then I'm helping bring his arm across his chest. It's actually stretching the shoulder here. That feel okay? And then this one I would suggest holding anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds and then bring it back out. And we'll do that a few times, okay? So again, I'm trying to bring him up and across at the same time. Good. If it's painful up higher, you can come down lower. You just have to figure out that spot where you feel a stretch, but it isn't too painful. So you can play with the angle. And then we would repeat again on the other side. Okay, so I'm holding up under and pulling up, and then across the chest. Okay, my pressure is here, not directly on the elbow itself, but just right on the tricep or the back of the arm, pushing across. The goal even could be you could put the hand up on the shoulder like this, but still you're wanting to push the elbow over across to the other side. Do it one more time. All right, so our next ones are targeting the spine, the whole spine. So the big thing to remember is that you want to sit up away from the backrest if possible. So I'm going to show it from the side and then I'm going to help Wayne do it. So you're going to sit up nice and tall. This is what we call cat-cow. So your whole spine is flexing, chin to the chest, low back lowers, and then you're extending upward, tall as can be. Now, you may not have good control low down, and that's okay if that's supported in your chair, and then you would just work the upper trunk and neck. You can work just whatever muscles you have innervated and are working for you, you work those, but it's all moving together. It's nice to breathe, to inhale as you rise up and look at the ceiling, and exhale as you look towards the floor. All right, ready to try it? So you're gonna sit up. So yep, so exhale as you look down, and then inhale as you come up tall. So I'm really just supporting him a little bit lower to make sure as he extends up that he's not falling back. Good. And then exhale, good. And then inhale, up, 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 up. Good. So I'm giving a little support on his back while he looks up. Down, and we're gonna do it 10 times. So I think this is number 3. And then up, 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 as tall as you can go. Good. Lower, 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 lower. Yep. And up. This is whole spine mobility. Everything's moving together as good job. Okay. Our next one is, sit back for a second. We're trying to lengthen the side of your trunk. So if you have arm movement and function, you can bring the arm up overhead. If you have an armrest, you can rest your arm. If you don't, it's okay. Wayne doesn't, so he's just going to keep his arms here, and I'm going to help him. Basically, either he can put the hand on the hip or just hand here, and the idea is that you're just leaning to one side, trying to elongate or stretch the one side. We're going to do that one, and then we'll lean over to the other side. Okay? All right, you ready? So sit on that. So I want you to come towards me. So we're going to go to the left first. So because he doesn't have his armrests on right now, he's going to lean into me. And if you see, because he has a seatbelt on, that's keeping his hip down. But because this is pulling up this way, it's elongating, it's stretching this side. Do you feel that way? So we're going to hold that there. Again, safer way if you don't feel like you can support the person on the side. You can always keep the armrest on and kind of lean over the armrest, or put a pillow on the armrest and lean over that. But since we already have his off, we're going to go right into here. So he's just leaning into me, and again, the seatbelt's on, so he's not going to fall out of his chair. Again, we could, if he had a better arm function, we can put the hand on the hip like this, or if he was able to reach overhead, we would do that. But this is still fine. He's still getting the elongation of the trunk. All right, we're coming back over here. And if you like this, and I'm not having you do it as many times as you would like, just hit pause and add a few extra. It's totally fine. We're going to do it 3 times to each side, holding for about 10 seconds. Or if you don't want to do seconds, you can do by number of breaths. So sometimes, especially in yoga, we talk about, okay, you're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So you're going to breathe in and out 3 times. And then you will come back to the center. One more time. One more time over here. So in this case, you'll see Wayne has laterals on his chair, so those would block him from moving in this way, so that's also why we have to have him move a little bit forward in the chair, okay? Good. Last time on the other side. someone needed assistance because they didn't have good head control, you could always just kind of, cradle the head like this with an arm. And again, you could keep the armrests on so you're not having to worry about the trunk as much. All right, now that we've gone side to side and we've stretched flexion extension, now we're gonna work on rotation. So this one's really nice. Again, this may be a motion that you don't have a lot of, but I still want us to work on it. So you're gonna sit nice and tall. You're gonna breathe in, and when you breathe out, you're gonna rotate, trying to put a hand on the opposite knee, other hand can be on the arm of the chair, and you're gonna look over your shoulder, trying to rotate. My role as the caregiver is to help keep him upright and nice and tall and long, and then rotate. You ready? So we're gonna go towards me first. This arm can drop back here. This arm's gonna come right here. You're gonna be up tall. Good. Up tall. And rotate. You go through the available range that you have. If this is all you got, that's great. Keep looking towards me a little bit more over your shoulder. Good. And then exhale as you come back to the center. And then we're going to rotate to the other side. We're going to support this arm. You ready? So bring that arm across your body. Good. Up tall. Good. Rotate. Nice. You have good arm function. You can pull on you can rest this arm on the armrest. The other hand could pull on the armrest to rotate you further. Look over and remember the neck is part of this, so make sure you rotate the head as far as you can. And then coming back. Again, just like the one side to side, I would do based on number of breaths. So I might hold this position for 3 breaths. Okay, right here, good. On that exhale, you come back to the center. Again. The other option is if you don't like trading side to side, you could do 3 times one way and then 3 times the other way. That way you don't have to switch, and that's totally fine too. Ready? Rotate. Good. So I'm just making sure this arm doesn't hang down unsupported. Trying to push forward here a little, give him a little rotation. Last time. You can also just kind of support it at the shoulders even a little like this. Make sure you're using your legs to help so you're not twisting your own back. Okay? Good. One more time the other way. The last one I'm going to show you today is forward flexion in your chair. Now I'm going to show you one option. If you have, depending upon the flexibility in your back and also your arm function, one way is literally just to prop forward on your elbows. The goal is to stretch the low back here as you go forward. If you have better mobility and you can breathe sufficiently enough as you lean forward, Wayne's going to show you this, you can go lower. You can drop your hands between your legs, let your head dangle. Okay, so we're going to show you that one, but again, this is even okay if you're able to just let your back relax and really flex, stretch the low back. All right, we're going to go forward. He's going to go to his elbows first, good. Always let the arms go between, either on either side or between the legs. I'm here just to make sure, again, his seatbelt is on. Safety's always first. I don't want him leaning forward out of his chair. And then he has great trunk extension, so he can come back up, but if not, you can always assist back up. Big thing to remember is for someone who might don't stay in this position so long that you would get lightheaded or dizzy. or just be sure to come out slowly if that's something you've noticed that you struggle with. Again, the goal is just to stretch that low back anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds depending upon how you feel in that position. One more time. Okay. Again, I'm just here to kind of guard the trunk, but you can always help someone into it, and then again, be careful, use your legs as you assist them back up. All right, so that's it for our chair yoga or chair stretching today. If you have any feedback or comments, be sure to list them below, and we'd love to get back to you. Bye, guys.